Today I'm going to show you how to make backpacker sausage, egg, and hash brown kind of scramble. I don't really know what to call it other than that. This is a recipe I found a long time ago when I first started backpacking and canoeing and portaging. I found it in a magazine called Backpacker. I used to buy it. I used to go looking for it at the newsstand back when people bought magazines. And I bought the magazine, and one of the first sections I would go to would be the recipes. And I've gotten a few little recipes. I've tried a bunch of things. Most of them haven't stuck. However, this one has stuck. The difference between how I do it and how it showed in the magazine, in the recipe, was they told it's a one-pot meal, but they said you don't need a pot. You just pour boiling water over it in a plastic bag. It's a breakfast dish. You go about making getting your camp tore down or whatever, and then it'd be ready to go. Well, I did that the first time, and I had a couple other partners with me at that time, and it was a hiking trip that I went on, and it was terrible. Neither of them ate it. I ate it, but it was crunchy, like crunchy eggs. It was really gross. So I modified that, and I'll show you on the trail how I prepare it, and it turns out pretty good. One thing I will tell you right off the bat is the eggs will not come back like eggs as if you're cooking them on the stove. I'm here in my kitchen, and the stove's over there. They won't come back. They'll still be, if you get them, the best I've ever been able to get them is rubbery, so texture is not great, but they taste like eggs, and they're all in with a bunch of other things, which you'll see as I show you how to put it together. I usually make this for 2 mornings on my canoe trips that I go on. I go on 8-day wilderness trips a couple times a year. In Nova Scotia. I'm up in Canada here. So anyway, it's a great meal. It's a heavy meal. It takes a little bit of time to prepare, so I usually plan them for lazier mornings, if there is one, and if not, I might switch it around. I might have it on a morning that I was up early, and my canoeing partner may not be up yet or whatever. So it takes a little bit of time. It takes some finessing to get it to turn out as best as it can. Unlike the Backpacker magazine, just dump some water in, it'd be good. Have you ever had crunchy eggs? They break like peanut brittle under your teeth. It's gross. Don't try it. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I'm a big eater, so this is a big portion I'm going to show you. So I'll prepare it in my small pot here, and I have nesting pots, and I have a frying pan and a bigger pot in this pot. So my portion will fill this about 1/3 full, maybe to a half. It's a very big breakfast, so if you don't eat that much or whatever, in my opinion, out on the trail is not the place to start your diet. So I eat pretty good when I'm out there. Actually, I eat excellent when I'm out there. I eat big portions because I want the calories, I want the power to get me through the different challenges that I'm going to put my out-of-shape body through as I go through the week. So far that system has worked for me for 20 years. So this is I'm in my 20th year of traveling in the wilderness in Nova Scotia, in Canada. So I'm going to make 2 of these. So I start off with a Ziploc bag. So unlike my other meals, if you're watching any other videos, I'm not going to fill this. This is breakfast. I'm going to supplement it probably with a cereal bar of some sort. So yeah, these won't be filled. And the ingredients are simple. I dehydrate everything myself. You just put it on your dehydrator tray. Pretty easy to do. So the first thing is scrambled eggs. So I dehydrate the eggs. Now this is the toughest part of the whole meal, is how to dehydrate the eggs. And I won't lie to you and tell you that I perfected it, because I certainly haven't. Guess I'll use this bag. So I take my eggs, I add a little bit of milk in them, salt and pepper, and then I scramble them. So I believe this is 4 eggs altogether. So I divide them in half, because I'm making 2 portions like I said. You want to make them soft scrambled, so just enough so that they kind of stick together. Still kind of ooey and watery, like you probably never eat them this way. And then put them on the dehydrator tray, and try to break them up a little bit on your liquid tray on the dehydrator, so that you want them as small and even pieces as possible. That's really important. You see how small I have the eggs? I've done big chunks before, and they're still kind of crunchy in the middle. Again, I caution you, the eggs will not come back like on the stove. They're still good, and because we're going to put them in with a bunch of other things, it makes a good meal. So I'm going to do a pinch of onion in there and keep things moving along. So this is some dehydrated onion that I made. If you saw that or not. You don't want too much onion, because a little bit will make quite a difference in your meal. That's probably a full onion in that bag. or close to it. A dehydrated onion. We'll toss that over there. Okay, so then we need some sausage. So the sausage, egg, and hash brown. So you need some sausage. So this is just ground. This is actually turkey that I've seasoned with Italian sausage. So I've cooked the turkey up on my stove, dumped a bunch of Italian sausage seasoning in it, mixed it all around, and cooked it there. And then I've dehydrated it, fully seasoned in my dehydrator. And it will taste remarkably like Italian sausage when you go to eat it, and it is excellent. Excellent. So again, a pretty generous portion. You'll notice that these are not nearly as big as any of my other meals, so try to get them roughly even. So that's probably about 1/4 of a pound of sausage once it's cooked up. So that's a lot, 1/4 of a pound of sausage. Chuck that over there. Then we got hash browns. So these are just from Walmart here in Canada. They're just the El Cheapo brand. Great value hash browns. So I'm going to divide this roughly between the 2 bags. And I usually do the whole bag of hash browns, which is a lot of hash browns. So I kind of bring those in there. Oh dear. Having some troubles. I try to get them even. Alright, so if you can see the bags, like, I mean, this is going to be a big meal. It's also relatively heavy. So usually what I eat for breakfast is oatmeal and a cereal bar. But, you know, this is a heavier kind of treat. This weighs, well, I think anyway. I never actually weighed them. I should maybe. Maybe it's just the same as oatmeal. Oatmeal's not light either. So there we go. And then the top, what kind of ties this whole meal together is it's going to be a little bit watery. We're going to add water on the trail, and then we're going to condense it. We're going to boil it. We're going to heat it, let it cool off, and heat it, let it cool off for the rehydrating. Again, it's a kind of a bit of a finicky meal. It's not difficult, but it takes some patience to get it to turn out, if you want it to turn out good. So this is just chicken gravy mix, and I can't really hold it up. Maybe I'll hold it up after. So I take my incredibly accurate teaspoon, and I'm going to put a generous portion of chicken gravy. Now, the original recipe called for white gravy, which is not available in Canada that I know of. So this is from, maybe it isn't a pack. This is from the bulk barn. So I'm going to put roughly about 2 tablespoons of gravy in there. Just like so. And this is from the bulk barns. We just go and buy it, put it in that fancy dancy plastic bag right there. You put it all in together into the bag, and you shake it up a little bit and let that gravy permeate all through. And once we get out on the trail, we'll make this one pot meal, and we'll show you how it's done. So we'll see you on the trail. Okay, so we're going to put together our eggs, hash brown, and sausage meal. There it is all in the bag. So I do this one a little different than some of my other meals. It was really cold last night. I'm not sure if my fuel is even going to pressurize. It's down to -1 or 2. The water in my bag, I don't know if you see it or not, it's all, I had to break it up. It was all ice on the outside. Anyway, so I got the stove lit. So usually I put it in cold water and just let it rehydrate, but usually I'm more hurry for breakfast. So this breakfast takes a bit of coaxing to make it come around, and the more time you can play with it, the better it will turn out. So I put a generous amount of water to cover everything. I got ice in it. It's like ice cubes in it. So I put some water in there, and the first thing I do is I bring it to a boil, if it will boil this morning. I may have to wait till it warms up a little bit. As I'll bring it to a boil, and then I'll let it stand. I'll just set it aside, and I'll let it stand for probably 20 minutes, half an hour in the warm water, and then I'll bring it to a boil again, and then I'll start to stir it, and I'll probably do that process 2 or 3 times, and the whole process, if I want it to turn out good, is probably going to take, I would say, I'm going to spend an hour playing with this. So it's not something I do if I'm in a hurry. We got a real light day today, and just going to kind of hang out and relax here in the woods, and the sun is out, not a cloud in the sky. So I'm not going to make you watch this pitiful flame boil this, and we'll be back later. Okay, it's been a half hour or so. I brought this to a boil. It's warmed up slightly. Outside, my backpack thermometer says about 4 degrees now.
up from -1. You can see the gravy kind of thickens that up. So I'm in no rush at all this morning. I'm actually going to make a coffee, and I'm going to let this sit longer. But I am going to bring it to a boil. Again, I'm going to add a little more ice water, I guess. Haha. A little more water to it, just to give more liquid to help rehydrate this meal. Man, it tastes good. That's spiced pork. It's turkey, I believe I have in mind. Is man, it's tasty stuff. So I'm going to put the cover on. I'm going to bring her to a boil again, and you can see it's going to be thickening up as I do that. So one of the key things with this is to have time, and the second thing is to make sure it has enough liquid in it. So every time you bring it to a boil again, you want to have enough liquid, because in order for it to rehydrate, it needs liquid. So don't starve it for liquid. The very final step, I'll condense it down. So if it looked like this, I'd boil it with the cover off until it thickens up. I would stir it, maybe let it sit a little bit, and it will continue to thicken with that gravy, and then you've got this kind of yummy, sloppy sort of meal. Okay, it's time to put the finishing touches on breakfast here. We've been playing around with the fire, enjoying a cup of coffee and chatting, making a few little plans. So you can see how thick it is there. That's the gravy. So I'm going to bring this to a boil. I'd say it's the right consistency now. We'll bring it to a boil, and she should be ready to go. Should give me lots of yummy food fuel for the day, for sitting around and taking it easy. She's still pretty chilly out. Sometimes you shake your can, it'll help pressurize it. It has been steadily warming up, but it's still quite cool, and the wind has come up a bit. So it's no longer still and silent here this morning. So once this comes to a boil, it should be pretty much ready there. It's starting to bubble now. So it's got kind of a rich, sort of thick gravy. I'll put some salt and pepper in that, which I carry with me. We'll have ourselves a hearty, high protein, high calorie meal out here. Eggs, sausage, and hash browns on the trail. And that's pretty much the finished product right there.